Alright, so I'm on the New York State website, um, and like I'm trying to see what this guy talks about and see what this guy is up to, as far as how he's gonna help out me. As far as he's gonna help out me and provide me with a job and everything. This is just ridiculous. I click on governor's home. This is governor's homepage. The first thing it asked me to do is the first it says New York City's cleared to enter phase 4 of reopening, but when I click on it, learn more. This is all secondhand news. It says every region of New York State will now be open, will now be in phase 4 of reopening, and then it gives you a quote from Governor Cuomo. But that's not, that's not what the governor is supposed to be providing on his homepage. On his homepage, he's supposed to be providing first-hand accounts of his, it says right here, Governor Cuomo, and then parentheses, so that they're quoting Governor Cuomo, but at the bottom of the page, they don't show, they don't provide references to where that quote was taken from. You know what I mean? There's no fact-checking on the New York State website. It says, quotes, parentheses, Governor Cuomo, New York City will enter phase 4 on Monday. I want to see Governor Cuomo saying that himself. I don't want to see some, chump, quoting him, because that chump quoting him, they don't have time to put his entire speech into this news article. This is a government website. This government. Where can I freaking where can I look at the state government? This is even his schedule right here. I'm clicking on his schedule. July 17th. Right now, it's July 18th at the top of the page. You can see it right there. July 18th. And what? This is his schedule for yesterday? So if I want to see what he's going to talk about tomorrow, and I want to know what time he's going to talk about it so that I can pull it up on my phone and look at it. And then even this for yesterday, if I click on it, Governor Cuomo, it says Governor Cuomo is in Albany. This is Governor Cuomo hosts conference call, COVID response, members of the media call a certain number, and then it gives his contacts, his freedom of information, executive orders, and then it only gives one executive order, and there are hundreds of executive orders from Cuomo all the way back till the 1800s. Judicial screening, language access. What does this stuff even mean? And then I scroll down all the way to the bottom, and it doesn't even tell me what he talked about. So I'm gonna try. I just clicked on Albany, and it brought me back to the same page. And then I just clicked on it again. It brought me back to the same page I was just on. I mean, like, where is the transparency, with these state governments? This is just like, this is disgusting. This is absolutely disgusting. I can look at executive orders, which is nice, which is great, but I don't have time to read through all this stuff when I could just watch him on TV and then go to the executive orders page and look more in depth and fact check him. I love that executive orders page. You got the priorities page, and there's a whole bunch of things here. Okay, I'm gonna go back. Priorities, legislation. Same thing with the legislation is the same thing as executive orders. Like, come on, man. This is not fair. This is just completely not fair. I mean, like, how am I gonna go through 197 legislative items? I mean, these things are so big that I have to download them, and there's 197, and I bet you each and every single one that I download is like at least is probably a good half an hour of reading. I mean, and 197 of those, I mean, that's just not, I mean, it's great that it's on the website, but I want to see who this guy is. I want to see, I mean, I want to have, media and news reporters. I want to have them in Cuomo's face. I want to see anytime Cuomo says something to the public, I want to see what he says. Because I support this guy, and I'm looking for any reason at all to vote for him in the future. Oh my gosh. Oh boy. Priorities, legislation but like, I mean, for real, where, is this guy like some type of spy? Is this guy some type of like, is this guy like legitimately like, is this guy like immune to like being transparent? This is just unacceptable. This is completely unacceptable. The New York State website right here. This should be a freaking reality TV show. Anytime Cuomo says anything at all to any other elected member of, the government, or anybody in the government, this guy should be accountable. And not just him, but every single governor that comes after him in the state of New York should be accountable, and should be, should have a daily should have somebody following him at all times. We have to know. I mean, New York City and all the suburbs surrounding New York City needs to know, like, that this guy, like, is, look at, we need to know that this guy, we need to know that this guy is all there. and that this guy is not like, you know, in cahoots with like the, you know, the various forms of corruption, whether it be like, whether it be money corruption, personal corruption, voter corruption, like there, I mean, like this, you know, as people, you know, surrounding New York City, coming from New York City, like we gotta like that's like, you know, I mean, before anything else, like if we want to have any source, you know, if the people within New York City and you know, in the immediate surroundings of New York City, especially the boroughs, if they want to have like, you know, I mean, like if you guys want to have, if you guys want to have any source of, you know, dignity, I mean, like, you gotta know that this guy, like, there's, like, you have to have a way to be 100% certain, you know, that this guy is all there, like, with you, like, all with you. Especially with the economic corruption and the criminal corruption, you know, you can't find that out through secondhand accounts of what he says, because he could say, he could talk for hours and hours and hours about how to help you and about how to help you, but like individuals that take him out of context, they take like 10 seconds of what he said in the course of an hour, and that's what they tell you. So that's just like, it's not fair to you, it's not fair to him, and it's not fair to him. Like, if you think about it, like, if I get all my news from like somebody, you know, if I get all of my news for a day from 10 seconds of out of context spoken words, like, that's a whole day that I just devoted to that particular, you know, that's a whole day that I devoted to thinking about those words. You know, I mean, if I'm going to spend a whole day thinking about 10 seconds of what somebody said, like, I'm going to go crazy. Like I have to know what the entire hour of what that person was talking about in order to make a conclusion that'll allow me to sleep at night without going crazy, without fucking beating my mom and my wife and my sister and my brother and my fucking dog. If I hear 10 seconds about what somebody says and I have to think about that the whole day, I'm gonna go out and beat the fuck out of somebody. I need to hear, like, you know, if I'm gonna listen to what somebody says, like, I need to hear everything they say, otherwise I'll just lose it. But it's just like, it's not right that like, the the website, like NewYork.government, like like somebody freaking post in the comments, like, where can I find out about what the hell is going on with my government? You know, because like I'm sick and tired of the only jobs in New York State that I can get are like, everybody tells me like, go to the city, that those are the jobs you can get. And like when I don't have a college education, so like when I think about the jobs that I can get in New York City, the first thing that comes to my mind is like, you know, delivering food on a bicycle. You know, before that, it was a lot better. Before that, I was thinking about, you know what, I could be a cab driver. But then, of course, well, then something happened. Uber came out, and now I can't even. Now I'm not sure if I can get a job driving Uber, because it's the same thing as a taxi cab. I'll have to rent the Uber car from somebody that has a TLC approved Uber car. But I mean, it's the same thing. I mean, without a college education, like, what's like trade school? Become a mechanic, become an electrician, become a plumber. Those are all big jobs in the city. But like, I mean, they're few and, you know, like they're finite. You know, well, I mean, you know, railroad, they're finite. You know, and like, what are Are there any new jobs being created? Like, you got the wind. The wind thing is big, but like, they don't want to put up money for it. They don't want to like do it themselves. They want the federal government to do it for them. The state of New York, like, doesn't want to do it themselves. They they want they want the federal government to do it for them. You know, but. And at the same time, that, you know, they're, you know, when the federal government doesn't do it for them, they say, all right, now we're going to boycott like oil and coal and natural gas. So when the federal government doesn't approve clean energy, the state, as usual, they don't want to put up their own money for alternative energy, so nothing gets built. You know, I mean, like, New York should not be dependent on the federal government to build, you know, freaking wind turbines. They're cheap. They're dirt cheap. Yeah, you build a freaking wind turbine for a couple of $100,000, and it powers 10,000 homes, 8,000 homes. I saw a video of a plane flying over some country in Europe, and. Damn, it was just insane. It looked like a checkerboard of wind turbines. And, you know, I mean, there's no acceptable reason why New York can't do that. And there's no acceptable reason why New York has to force everybody else to do it in order to get federal funding. New York can do it itself. New York has plenty of tax money. Holy moly. I mean, like, you just look at it. Like, the center of the world's economy is in New York. That's a lot of tax money. That's a lot of tax money. New York should be setting the example, not, wheeling and dealing under the table to get, to avoid having to pay it ourselves. Like, we should just man up and pay it ourselves. And that's gonna happen. That is going to happen. Because we need, we have to get transparency first. This guy Andrew Cuomo, he's a good guy, he's a bad guy, he's corrupt, he's not corrupt. It doesn't matter. What matters is the fact that we don't know what the hell he's talking about. And whether he's in power, whether he's in the, in the seat of, whether he's in Albany or not, the next guy, it's going to be the same thing. It's going to be the same face. It's going to be the same face, same suit, same mouth, same hand gestures, all that shit. It's going to be the same stuff. Unless we get transparency. And, NewYorkGovernment.com, you built it. Your tax dollars built it. And they're not, your tax dollars built it. And what you built with those tax dollars is what's it being used for? It's using to be getting you on unemployment, to pay your taxes, file for SNAP, supplemental, food stamps, and to pay your parking tickets. That's what the government website's being used for. It's to basically, get you on assistance, or to take your, to collect your parking ticket money, or to, pay your taxes. And that's not, and that's, that's going to change. That is going to change. Come poverty, come persecution, come death. That's going to change. And come life as well. That's going to change. Whether it's this generation or the next, it's going to change. And there will be transparency. We will be able to see what's going on. When the governor makes any type of public announcement, any type of speech, we'll be able to see it, and we'll be able to save it, and we'll be able to download it. And same thing with the state legislature and the state government. We'll be able to see what's going on in the up in the center of government. Albany. The House of Representatives and the state House of Representatives and the state Congress and the state government. We'll be able to see everything that they say. And that's the way it will be. Come death by natural causes, and come life by the next generation. Come life by the next generation, and in between, come persecution. We will know what they are saying.